Star Wars only, I don't know what the fuck your problem is.
Remember how I said that Lucasfilm was going to rely on The Mandalorian to kind of get the fan base back together in 2019? How, like, one of the highlights of 2019 is going to be The Mandalorian. That's one of my predictions for 2019, and I think 2019 is going to be a good year for Star Wars fans in general. And this is kind of confirming that Lucasfilm is riding on The Mandalorian. There is a news coming out, a story coming out that apparently Lucasfilm is relying heavily on The Mandalorian to kind of revive interest in the saga for Star Wars. Get Episode 9 a little more hype than it already is. And this is coming from The Blast, and they report that Lucasfilm recently filed a number of trademarks for toys, games, handheld units for video games, books, school supplies, temporary tattoos, clothing, and footwear. Now, is this huge news, like groundbreaking? Oh my god, no. We knew they did this stuff with Resistance when they got a trademark for that. We didn't know if it was going to be a show, a movie, a video game. We didn't know. Turned out to be a new show. But they do stuff like this all the time. But they don't normally do it in such big waves and numbers like they did with this. With the Resistance, they just had the trademark of the name. They didn't get all the toys, supplies, and all the stuff they're getting here. And so the fact that they're doing this with The Mandalorian means a few things. That they're going to start, promoting this thing months and months in advance of the series actually coming out. Probably around the time we get a trailer. They're going to put out some toys, and then you have the Star Wars fans that are going to investigate into the toys, and they're going to buy it, and they're going to be like, ooh, who's this character, and what's going to happen in this episode, and everything, and then the predictions start coming out. Another thing this does mean is that they think 2019 is going to be a big year for them as well, like I do, and they're going to rely on this, The Mandalorian show, to really revive interest so Episode 9's successful and people are more interested in the movies than they are right now, because, let's be honest, 2018 and 2017 have not been good years for Star Wars. You had, we came off a good year from Rogue One. That was a really good movie. We went into 2017, we got The Last Jedi, we got Battlefront 2. It was really depressing, and, we got Forces of Destiny. It was just kind of like, that really was disappointing at the end of the year. And then we got to 2018, we got the Solo movie, and everybody boycotted it, and people were just getting frustrated about everything. And so 2018's not been the greatest year for Star Wars. But 2019, we'll be getting the Clone Wars. 2019, we'll be getting this show, and we'll be getting the movie. The Mandalorian and the movie. So it looks like Disney and Lucasfilm are banking on the Mandalorian to get the movie more hype, get maybe the video games that are coming out that year more hype. One thing that's interesting for me is that they brought Dave Filoni into this, so maybe they're really trying to see how good he can help the franchise turn around and get the interest going. One of the things I'm concerned about, though, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong or right about this, is the fact that they're going to be relying heavily on the streaming service. We got to remember this one thing. You're not going to be able to see the Clone Wars show or The Mandalorian unless it's on a streaming service. And they're getting things for the toys, games, books, school supplies, temporary tattoos, clothing, and footwear. That's not for all, adults. And a lot of adults aren't going to buy this stuff. They'll watch the show, probably buy the toys and the games, but that's really it. Maybe books. You could argue books. Everything else, though, it's not. I don't think a lot of adults buy this stuff constantly like you do for kids. Star Wars is more geared towards kids because the parents would buy the money for the kids so the kids could be happy. So what I'm thinking that's going to happen here is that they're going to rely heavily on the streaming service, and that might not be the best route because you have to remember you have to pay $10 a month or however many dollars a month you're going to pay for the streaming service. That's a popular thing nowadays. You look at the MMA and boxing world, you got The Zone. That's coming out. That's $10 a month to watch Bellator or boxing. Canelo just signed with them. So you have to pay $10 a month for that. You got the DC whatever universe that they have. That's $10 a month or $7 a month. Netflix and Hulu. So there's all these streaming services that we already have. Are there going to be a lot of parents or people in general that buy into the Mandalorian show? And so if they want to buy into that, they have to buy the streaming service from Disney. And that's untested waters right now. So let's say the streaming service doesn't do well. They put all this money into supplying these toys, these games, books, supplies, all this stuff, all this merchandise. They invest hundreds and hundreds of millions into that because the movies make a lot of money, but the toys make the most. They always have. So if they invest all that money into those toys, and they're really banking on everybody buying the streaming service, so they watch The Mandalorian, so they revive interest in the franchise, and that gets episode 9 to, a successful number. It's not a flop or anything. I don't think it will, but still, if they use that to revive the franchise, what if the streaming service doesn't work? That's the biggest gamble, in my opinion. That's the streaming service is the only reason I'm slightly worried about this. If this show was on any other channel, like, really, if it was ESPN, maybe, even that one would be risky. Something on cable TV where it does big numbers, kind of like how The Walking Dead used to do big numbers, and Breaking Bad and all these shows. If it was doing something like that, by all means. But people have to buy another streaming service to get to this show. And that show's supposed to revive the franchise. And then you have the Clone Wars coming out with it as well. Now, I know some people are going to argue that people are just going to pirate it, but let's forget us really hardcore fans. I'm talking casual fans. I'm talking, a mom and a dad who grew up with Star Wars. Let's say they're 40 or they're 30, and they have 2 kids. And their kids like Star Wars as well, but they really don't want to pay an extra $10 a month for a streaming service that's only going to give you 2 or 3 shows that your kid's going to like, when you could just watch Resistance on, cable TV. I mean, are they really going to do that? That's more money. I get cable TV's dying. There's a lot of arguments for the streaming service, but my argument is that it's untested waters. And that's why I'm a little concerned with Disney doing this. But it might work, it might not. Tell me your thoughts. Do you agree with me? I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying it's risky business. But we'll see what happens. Are you going to buy the streaming service is the biggest question. And are you going to buy these toys and supplies that they're coming out with? And do you think The Mandalorian is going to be successful in reviving the franchise of Star Wars? I'm Star Wars Only. Hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll see y'all next time, and may the Force be with you always.